Okay, there you go. All right, we're going live. Let's see here. There. All right, so good afternoon to everyone. We're now live on YouTube, and we're just setting up, and we're gonna share screen in a bit. So make sure that you stand by. We're just making sure that everything is going well on my end here. There you have it. All right. Okay. So let's begin now, shall we? Okay. Just visiting the link here. There you go. Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. This is Mentor Myron Sta, and I'm going to tell you more about myself in a bit. But before anything else, I would just like to greet everyone wherever you are. It's a very beautiful Thursday afternoon, and I hope that everybody is doing well wherever you are. Be it, well, here in the Philippines, we're on or under MECQ, and that stands for Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine, and a lot of businesses, okay, have sent out their employees to work from home. And of course, most of these businesses or companies are on skeletal workforce. And well, I myself, okay, am reporting in our office. So we're here, but the background here is not my office. This is just the virtual background. And so we thought of facilitating this webinar on employee productivity pivot in the new normal, because a lot of companies would love to help their employees remain or become more productive despite the challenges of working from home or whatever other obstacles, okay, they are facing in this hashtag new normal. And this is just my little contribution, okay, to all of us, so that somehow we're able to get the good out of the bad. All right, there's nothing really so good about this pandemic situation, but with a very strong mind and a very strong, of course, faith in God and will, we're gonna be able to surpass everything and still thrive despite the problems that are being presented to us. So without further ado, let me now present to you our deck for this moment's webinar on employee productivity pivot in the hashtag new normal. Here we go. There you go. I'm just accessing our PowerPoint presentation. Okay, there you have it. Found it now. All right, here we go. Okay, so hopefully everyone can see this now. Okay. All right, started on the last slide. I'm not supposed to say thank you yet. Okay, so this was supposed to go live on LinkedIn, but for some reason I didn't know that we would have to apply for qualification to broadcast live on the LinkedIn platform. But it's okay. We were able to resolve this right away. So we instead are going live on YouTube, and then hopefully I was able to share the link, and I sure did on LinkedIn. So for those of you who have been waiting for this webinar, then just make sure that you refresh your screen. Okay, you visit my profile and you go look for that YouTube link that I shared. It should be at the very top of my activities list or my posts list. Okay, so yep, we're now going live instead on YouTube. This is your free webinar. Okay, this is sponsored by the company I own, MSS Business Solutions. So employee productivity pivot in the new normal. This is one of those highly in-demand topics that employers and employees alike would like to know more about given their situation. So hopefully this really becomes, well, not just a live free webinar, but also we're going to be revolving around, thinking, feeling, doing abundance despite the pandemic situation. Okay? But before anything else, of course, we would love to, if I may just share, as a professional corporate trainer, public speaker, learning and development consultant, and team building facilitator, my branding is, or one of the things that I am better or best known by would be, entertainment, and that's why my alias is the corporate entertainer, because I put people in a learning experience in which they're learning, but at the same time they're having fun. So before we go any further into this webinar, let me or allow me to entertain you guys, okay? All right. So if you guys are familiar with Zumba, okay, and this is literally Zumba because we're having Zumba on Zoom, all right? So let me put you at ease. Let me make you comfortable. Let me make you happy, all right, before we start with our webinar. So just like the Zumba that we know, so whatever I do here, you're just gonna copy, all right? Okay, so here we go.
Fuck it, I guess we gotta release this tonight. Whew.
Ah! All right, all right. Here you go. Well, I should have practiced this before presenting this to you guys. All right, so hopefully, even though it's just a few moments that you guys were entertained, literally, before we start with this free webinar on our topic, how employers and employees alike can be productive, okay, despite the pandemic situation. Okay, for those who don't know me yet, my name is Mentor Myron Sta. Well, my name is only Myron Sta, but I'm known as Mentor Myron Sta because it is my purpose and passion in life to be with you every step of the way until you reach your desired success, your personal definition of success. I'm known in the Philippines as the hashtag the corporate entertrainer because of my branding called entertainment. Like what I said a little bit earlier, I put people in a learning experience in which they're learning, they're acquiring the needed knowledge, skills, and attitudes that they must possess. And at the same time, they're having fun. And I'm also known as the Philippine Soft Skills Guru because my areas of expertise are in soft skills or behavioral skills. And because my experience and expertise are also in soft skills programs facilitation. Okay. And just like what you guys can see there, so my mission in life, I call it, okay, the ease to success. So It is my passion and purpose as well to educate, equip, encourage, engage, entertain, empower, and escort to success the Filipino people. And I've been doing this since 2013. But of course, I'm not only focusing on the local market, my fellow Filipinos, of course, I'm also offering our services even to international audiences. Okay? So, yep, once again, my name is Mentor Myron Santana, CFLDP. If you guys are wondering what CFLDP stands for, that's Certified Facilitator in Leading Dimensions Profile. Okay? So, if you guys are wondering, okay, Myron, we get it, mentor, okay, that this webinar is going to revolve around how employers and employees alike, for the sake of their company, can remain productive and profitable despite the pandemic challenges. Okay, but we would love to know how in depth, all right, what the different items are that you're gonna cover in this webinar. Okay, so our program goal, what this is all about, is very simple. Okay, our learning goals are the following. Number one, I would love to help you guys increase your emotional quotient, or in simple terms, emotional intelligence, your emotional maturity, your emotional stability. And this doesn't just go to our staff, our employees, but also to company owners, investors, top executives, and departmental heads, from supervisors, managers, and up. Okay, because having that emotional intelligence, okay, possessing emotional intelligence is what we desperately need, okay, in order to not only survive in this global situation we're in, but also to surpass all obstacles along the way and thrive, okay, and succeed along the way. So hopefully that this first goal is something you already love, but wait, there's more. Our second goal is that, you know what, we pretty much understand where everybody's coming from, all right? This global COVID-19 crisis is forcing us to only see and feel the negativity, right? The miseries that it's putting us in. But you know what? If we're just gonna be, this is cliche, I know, but if we're just gonna be very optimistic about all things, we're gonna be able to spot the hidden opportunities behind, within, or despite the miseries that we are seeing and experiencing. Okay? And it's up to the companies to leverage those opportunities to be able to still meet, or better yet, exceed our bottom lines, whatever the key result areas or key performance indicators we've set for ourselves. Okay? And just like what it says here, to stay profitable or be even more. And last but not least, guys, of course, this webinar is not gonna center itself on the process to go through to solve problems. No, although it says how to solve current company and team challenges there, this is more on this is focusing more on the need, okay, the urgent need for us to be more creative than ever, more innovative than ever, in order to come up with what we believe would work, okay? Because like what I said, we've been forced by this global pandemic situation to adopt and adapt to not only the technologies we have to leverage, okay, because a lot of things, people are going online, but also embrace, okay, change management, because it is only in managing change that we would be able to change our conception about things and make sure that that change reflects in our actions and decisions. Okay, so these are the three goals that we're going to try to meet in our employee productivity pivot and the hashtag new normal webinar at this moment. Okay, so now I thought of presenting to you guys questions that we have to answer. For us to answer the question, how to remain or become more profitable and productive in this global situation. So let's answer this question. What situation are we in? Number one, yep. Call me exaggerating it, but there's really this real paranoia going on. A lot of us are afraid. We don't want to go out, right? The moment we knew that the virus is airborne, right? The virus comes with droplets that we don't want to get near anyone because if they sneeze, they cough, or something as simple as talk, we have that fear of contracting the virus, and because of that, yep, we're afraid to go out and get infected. We would rather stay home and do everything we need to do at home than go out there and expose ourselves to others. Okay, not just to people that we would interact with, but of course expose ourselves to surfaces that we would unavoidably touch, and so on and so forth. Okay. Another situation that we found ourselves in is this there, especially, you know what, I am referring to the micro, small, and medium-sized businesses. All right, if we're talking about MSMEs and their employees are the ones who are most worried about their job statuses, and we know that, guys. We've seen and heard it on the news that since companies are struggling one after another, they are laying off their employees, right? People are losing their jobs. And even with those people who still have their jobs intact, they're still, questioning things. They're still not certain if in the next 2 months or so that they would still be able to keep their jobs, right? And you know what? That's inevitable because a lot of companies, like what I said, are struggling, right? Their incoming cash flow is challenged. They're finding it really very hard to sell or market their products, services, and solutions. And because of that, since the incoming cash flow is challenged, then they are having a hard time, of course, paying for their employees' salary, right? Um, than to see their business fall down, report for bankruptcy, and close down, they would rather just, get rid of people, all right, than get rid of their businesses. So the struggle is really real, okay? And next would be there. I mentioned it just now. Our incoming cash flow fell heavily because there are some businesses who, to be able to sell and market their services, they would have to go out there, right? They would have to face people in person. They would have to explain everything face to face. They would have to demonstrate their products. They would have to present their services. And because, the pandemic situation, the national government and the LGUs have mandated everyone to not only stay at home, but also when they cannot avoid going outside, they have to practice social distancing, right? So a lot of things are not working to our advantage, and the impact is on our incoming cash flow, right? All companies, well, not all companies, but most companies have hit rock bottom, all right, and they are, trying to recover from all the damages that this pandemic crisis has caused them. Okay, now, because of the situations that we mentioned that we're in, now, what status quo did those circumstances lead us to, especially in most offices? Number one, there. And I'm pretty sure that you guys would say yes, that this is the situation you're in. This is the status quo that you have to live by. That your company had no choice but to close their office, okay? And in addition to that, they're also not qualified or eligible to continue operations, especially like here in the Philippines. If the nation is under MECQ, the Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine, or worse, the Enhanced Community Quarantine, okay? Or even if they've not closed their entire facility, okay, they've closed parts of it. And of course, the departments that are most affected are the support people, right? Because more often than not, operations must stay because they are the ones who directly create money for the company. Okay, so this is one of the status quos that we already find ourselves in. Secondly, there. So this is actually the result of the previous slide because the most businesses have closed their office or some parts of it. Some of their employees, particularly the support people, would have to stay at home, and they would have to bring their work stuff at home too. So a lot of companies have implemented a work from home plan for their support functions. And when I say support functions, we're referring to marketing, who else? Finance or accounting, um, HR, of course. So those support functions, they were all instructed by their companies to just stay at home. The companies they work for have even sent their entire workstation, right? Their complete computer setup to their respective houses so that they can just stay there and not have that need to report for work anymore. Okay, so this is also that status quo. Next would be there. So this is the other side of the story. So even though the support or the support departments, all right, were instructed to work from home, the operations people have to remain at work because, like what I said earlier, they are the ones who create the money directly for the company. So the workaround instead would be to provide makeshift or temporary accommodations at work for as long as this pandemic is still going on. So the decision was to just quarantine them in company premises. All right. While it may be helpful for the company, of course, not a lot of the operations guys are very willing, or they're just forced to take heed of their company's demand because they don't want to lose their job. Right? It's either you comply or we take you out. It's as simple as that. Okay. And next would be, of course, there are some companies, not that they're not complying, not that they are stubborn, but the nature of their business or the nature of the products and services that they offer, okay, requires them to still require their employees to report for work every single day. Not work from home, all right, but still report for work and travel using their personal vehicles or the public mode of transportation. Now, here's the thing. The challenge here is that, especially when a country is put under MECQ, Modified Enhanced Community Quarantine, the public mode of transportation is suspended. Buses are not allowed, right? Jeepneys are not on the streets, okay? Even TNVS or car hailing services are suspended. They're not allowed to operate. So if these companies are still requiring their employees to report for work, take the public mode of transportation, especially if they don't have their own vehicles, then how are they able to do that when there's no vehicle to bring them to work, right? It's really a headache what's going on nowadays, all right? So it's a good thing that a lot of businesses, okay, are offering the employee transport or shuttle service, right? If I may just give as an example, my company, MSS Business Solutions, okay, and that's why we call ourselves MSS Business Solutions, because we're in the business of providing solutions to most companies' problems, especially now in this situation we're in. One of the challenges, just like what I previously mentioned, is that there are some companies, because of the nature of their business, okay, who still require their employees to travel to work from Monday to Friday or worse, Monday to Saturday. Okay, but the thing is, public transportation is suspended. So companies like my service here, MSS Employee Transport Service, must be on the rescue, okay, to provide the transport service that they need to pick them up from their house and then bring them to the office, and then once work is done, to bring them back to their work. All right, so it's a round trip service, okay. But what if there's a company who cannot provide this service or who cannot avail of this service because they're limited by of their too much expenditure limits them. That's why they're not able to avail of the employee transport service. Okay, so it's it is it has become a much more terrible problem for them. Okay, so the next question we have in mind would be now, what are the benefits of this setup? Of course, in anything, there are always pros and cons to it, right? So even though some employees would appreciate working from home, of course, there are some disadvantages or downsides to it. But let's focus on the good things first. What are the benefits of this setup? You know, the skeletal workforce, the support functions being required to work from home instead, and then of course the operations guys being quarantined in their respective company premises. What are the benefits of this setup? Let's focus on the positives. Okay, number one, of course, for the support functions we're talking to, okay, because we're working from home, that means we're able to avoid taking the inconvenient public transportation, all right? And I'm not embarrassing, okay, in my own country, but a lot of people can prove, even foreigners who live here, that the public mode of transportation here in this country is really very inconvenient. It has a lot of areas for improvement, right? And because you're working from home, you're going to start and end your work at home, then you don't need to go out there and call on a jeepney or a taxi or ride on a bus. Okay, which is very good for you. All right, next, of course, before for a long time, this work-life balance has just been well, it's not really literal balance between work and life because that's very impossible, right? But this has become more of like an internal peace of mind, right? That even though you have to go to work and of course you have to live through the difficulties of work, right? There's that inner peace of mind that helps you keep your sanity, in check. But now it's not. It's already very literal, right? Because you're working from home. There's already that work-life balance that you've been wanting to experience, because it's like the best of both worlds. You're working at home and you are also with your own family, your relatives, your friends. So that's already literal work-life balance, which is very enjoyable, right? Because even though you're working in one room, your loved ones are just right outside, right, waiting for you to finish your work so that you can bond with them. You can spend quality time with them. You can play with your kids, right? You can watch your favorite movies or television programs, right? So, yep, we're able to develop work-life balance because of the status quo we're in. Okay, and of course, the most important thing, because we're just confined at home, right? We're safe and protected from the virus. And we know for a fact that this virus, okay, is just lurking somewhere, right? Mostly they're on surfaces. So since we're at home, then there's no possibility that we're gonna get the virus because we're not touching anything from outside, right? And because it's also airborne and places itself in droplets, right? Because we're at home, then there's no possibility that we're going to interact with people from outside and then they're going to unintentionally sneeze or cough on us. Then the virus would have landed in our face or somewhere else in our body, right? So, yes, this is a very big advantage instead. We're safe and protected from the virus. Okay? So, there you go. Hopefully, you guys appreciate the benefits of working from home, right? You're safe, you're healthy, you're protected, you're sound. But on the other hand, here's the thing, right? You're happy because you're very close to your loved ones, your family, your relatives, your friends. You're happy because you're able to experience the best of both worlds, being at home and working at the same time. But at the end of the day, right, you're working. You have key performance indicators that your employers, particularly your supervisors or managers, are always monitoring to check whether you're a productive employee or not, and you're contributing to the key result areas of the department you belong to, and of course, you're contributing to the bottom lines of the entire company. So the question next here is, how's our productivity as a company, as a whole, of course, as a department or as a team, and of course, as an individual contributor, as an employee? Okay, so here now is the other very important question. What strategies are we going to employ? All right? Because once again, this topic we're having is employee productivity in the new normal. So let's go ahead and answer this question. All right. Number one, guys. Yes, virus is not good. Yes, pandemic, especially on a global scale, is not good, right? But before we talk about knowledge and skills, let's talk about attitude. Let's talk about character. Let's talk about mental, social, and psychological health and stability first, right? The very first strategy I would like to share with you would be you need to treat each problem, this COVID-19, this virus, this pandemic, right? This work from home status, right? As an opportunity instead. It's all up here, guys. It's all about the mentality or mindset, right? Remember that cliche quotation, whatever the mind conceives, the body achieves, meaning how you think is how you do and act and decide. It's very true. So number one tip or strategy for you guys, let's treat this pandemic, let's treat this virus as an opportunity instead. Don't look into it as a problem. All right. Okay. Let me prove to you further. Okay, that a person who sees problems as an opportunity will be the ones to not only survive, but much better yet, okay, surpass and succeed in this global pandemic situation. Like in my case, my company, MSS Business Solutions, before it started offering the employee shuttle or transport service, okay, so before we've been a learning and development solutions provider company. So we're into outsource, in-house, on-site, off-site learning and development services. We organize public seminars for you. We do facilitate our soft skills and even technical skills programs on site in your vicinity. Okay, so we're a training outfit, in short. So how do we see problems as opportunities? How do we see challenges as blessings? Let me give you an example here. All right, take a look at this. So this is one of our headaches, right? This pandemic. Work is suspended due to ECQ. ECQ stands for Enhanced Community Quarantine. And there are no clients for training because they're saving up. They're setting aside their money for what they call much more important expenses like, the relief for their employees and all the other support their employees need while trying to get past this pandemic, right? There are no clients for speaking because physical distancing is required, because mass gatherings are not allowed. Then I might be thinking there are not going to be any clients for speaking anymore. Nobody's going to hire me anymore. And even with consulting, right? Consulting is something that we can do remotely. But once again, let's just assume that it's affected negatively as well. So work is suspended due to ECQ and there are no clients for training, speaking, consulting. Okay, a problematic person who focuses on the problems, okay, would think that there is no way he or she can resolve this, right? But treat each problem as an opportunity instead. There's always a solution for every problem. So instead of focusing on this, what I'm going to focus on instead would be there. Work is suspended due to this community quarantine. And because of that, I could not attract clients for training, speaking, or consulting. Is that really the case? Or maybe we only think that there are no clients for training, speaking, or consulting because we want it to be done face-to-face, in person. Perhaps they could still continue enjoying the benefits of training, speaking, or consulting by us, all right, learning and development service providers bringing our service online. We just have to design and implement an online version of the same services that we offer to them, and that's it. That's going to be much better, right? Social distancing is followed, all right? There's no need to see each other in person, to touch each other in person, to talk to each other in person, because we can replicate the same effectiveness as training, speaking, or consulting online. Problem solved, right? Next. So these the next ones are not COVID-19 related. Okay, August is a ghost month, right? If you have a Chinese orientation or you're Chinese by blood yourself, right? They usually think that August is a ghost month. Okay, I don't really know the history behind it, but yeah, a lot of people think that August is a ghost month. Remember, whatever the mind conceives, the body achieves. However we think dictates what our decisions and actions are going to be and the results of our decisions and actions. So because you believe too much that August is a ghost month, then it's really going to reflect in our decisions and actions. Okay, so let's just say it's true that August is really a ghost month. So is this really a problem, or you're just focusing on it? Don't dwell on the problem, dwell on the solution instead. Yes, August may be a ghost month, but what I'm going to do instead is this. August is a ghost month, so what I'm going to do instead is to be proactive I'm going to plant my seeds. I'm going to intensify or make aggressive my sales and marketing in the second quarter in order to avoid, all right, August. So even if August is a ghost month and there are a few clients for training, speaking, or consulting, I had already invested a lot in the previous 3 months that it wouldn't be no problem anymore. So are you with me? Do you get where I'm coming from? Do you now understand more what I mean by this? The focusing on the solutions and not on the problems? The treating each problem as an opportunity and not something negative? All right, another example. They say that December and January are weak months for training, speaking, or consulting because December is already the last month of the year. And instead of still, getting services for training, speaking, or consulting, the companies usually just focus on their year-end events like Christmas party, preparing for the kickoff next year, and etc. Right? And of course, January is the first month of the year, so they haven't really built on their momentum yet, and because of that, they're still focusing on putting their best foot forward for the coming year, and just taking things easy first, right? So December and January are weak months. So just like August, you think or believe that there are not going to be any clients for training, speaking, or consulting. Or maybe just how you think, right? The solution can be there, just like what our strategy for August, the ghost month, as well. Plant your seeds in the third quarter, right? So third quarter, that's August, September, October, or July, August, September, right? So plant your seeds in those months, or even if that won't work or can't work, then you can just resort to alternative services that are still, make sure, aligned with your consultancy expertise. There you go. All right. So these are just examples of a person who treats problems as opportunities instead, right? Of a person who doesn't dwell on the problems, right? Because let me share this with you guys. This is one of the quotes that I share with other people, right? I have advice for you guys. Let's go ahead and read this out together. Don't be problematic about our problems, because if we do, okay, we're just gonna make things worse because we're gonna have two problems instead of just being or having one, right? Remember, we have one problem and we're looking for its corresponding solution. But because we're being too problematic about it, it's gonna be two. What's the second one? Headache, right? Stress, pressure, or worse, sickness, disease, illness. And we don't want to get that too far, right? And one more thing, guys. So hopefully, after this webinar, you're gonna be able to appreciate problems. Okay, let's be thankful that we have problems, or even a problem. Okay, because once we solve it, once we surpass it, once we defeat it, we're very certain that we're gonna learn something new, that we're gonna get something good or better out of it. All right. So please hold on to these thoughts, guys, and make sure that you apply them in every single day you're living. Okay? So applying it to our global pandemic situation, our work from home status, right? Even if things are looking and feeling and experiencing problematic, right? Let's focus on the good things. I know that there are opportunities within the miseries. So make sure you leverage them. Okay? And next, as a part of our strategies to leverage our situation would be communication. But it's not just any simple communication. The communication must be, remember these guys, the three letter C's, CCC, that I'm going to share with you. The communication must be, number one, constant. It has to be continuous. It has to be nonstop. Secondly, it has to be consistent, right? Constant is different from consistent. If constant is continuous, it has to be coupled with consistency. Consistency means that if you've given 100% from yesterday, all right, you need to replicate that same 100% today, right? There should be no let up. You should be consistent. So there you go, guys. Remember the three letter C's, CCC, constant, consistent, communication. Okay, and to be able to apply this, let me give you concrete examples. Number one, there. Usually, when we are doing a strategic, tactical, or operational planning, we just do them like once or twice every year, right? Because this pandemic situation is something that we failed to anticipate, or perhaps we couldn't anticipate before. It's okay, right? But the moment that we've now embraced it, all right, the moment that we've now embraced it, we should be strategically and tactically planning once again, right? Whatever we had planned for before, okay, is or are not going to work anymore. So we have to change our tactics. So go ahead and gather. This is something you don't really have to do face to face or in person. This is something that you can do online, right? Let's do a virtual strategic planning, a virtual tactical planning, a virtual operational planning, right? So let's convene and re-strategize, okay? Because this situation in front of us requires a different approach, a different mode, a different style, a different twist. So make sure that you guys don't forget this, all right? Have already strategically or tactically planned again. And whatever you had planned for strategically, it or those must be cascaded down to even the lowest level employees among your staff, okay? Secondly, guys, and I'm addressing, of course, the top executives here, the managers here, the middle management, okay? We must check on our team regularly, especially on those people that are working from home, the support function guys, okay? It's not that we are not giving them the benefit of the doubt, right? It's not that we are not sure whether they're really productive at home or not. No, it's not about that, right? We are not questioning the trust and the respect, okay? What we're focusing more here is that, because of the situation we're in, we're more hungry or thirsty for attention. We're more hungry or thirsty for communication. We're more hungry or thirsty for feedback. So because of that hunger or thirst, then the more we should check on our team regularly. It's not micromanaging, right? It's still macro managing. It's just that you're making sure that they're not struggling with the situation they're in. You're making sure that you're able to provide what they need. You're making sure that you're there every step of the way until we get past this stage in our lives. Okay, so once again, to our middle management out there, check on your team regularly. Number two, of course, I'm addressing co-workers here, peers. We have to collaborate with our peers every single time. Okay, it really doesn't have to be like thrice or more every day. No, at least once or twice every day, we need to touch base with one another. All right, and this is not just to check on the quality of work that each one is doing or contributing. This is also to check on how everyone is doing so far. Is everyone doing well? Is everyone thinking well? Is everyone feeling well? Is everyone still having fun? Is everyone still satisfied? Is everyone still contented? That's what we need to check more than anything else. Okay? Next, of course, this is one of the challenges that this work from home status, okay, is presenting. We need, well, it is true that I presented work-life balance as a benefit or as an advantage earlier, right? There are times that this work-life balance is not working to our advantage, that it's just worsening things, right? That it's not contributing at all, a bit, to the achievement of our key result areas as a department and as a company. And that's because for those people who are working from home, we are finding it hard to separate work from personal life while working from home. And this is really very true. This is something we cannot deny, right? What do I mean by that? Okay, later on, I'm going to explain to you the usual challenges of a person who's working from home. But in relation to forcing ourselves to separate work from personal life while working from home, let me just show you the here. This is how my setup at home looks like, right? Especially when we were still put under the enhanced community quarantine. So I made it a point to separate myself or what I'm doing from my family, from my loved ones. So I had to put up a makeshift room, right? Because all of our rooms at home are occupied by my family members. So I had to choose one corner there and set it up in a way that is separate from the house, so that that's where I could focus on my work there. So what I'm just trying to say is that even though you're working from home and the company supported that, all right, let's not abuse the privilege, the right, or however you want to call it, right? We have to commit to the company. We have to tell ourselves that, hey, I may be working from home. This may be a blessing. This may be a happy moment because I'm very close to my family. My family is just, a few steps away from me. But once again, at the end of the day, I have to remind myself that my company is paying me my salary still, so that I would and could do something company or work related. So please keep that in mind. Okay. Next, and this tip goes to the managers again, all right, or better yet, the owners, the top executives themselves, the top brass of the company. Please encourage and recognize your rise above. The employees rise above ideas and actions. What do I mean by that? There are some people, right? There are some employees who just go through the drill, right? They just go by the routine. So whatever they got used to every single day from Monday to Friday, those are the same things they're just gonna do over and over again. But in situations like this global pandemic going on, we need to recognize and reward those people who are going above and beyond the call of duty, who are exerting much more effort than usual. All right, that only means that these employees of ours, all right, have what I call the three C's, or let's add one more to it, four C's. They have the care, all right, they have the concern, they have the compassion, which is the best of all, and they have the commitment. So if you have employees who are not just going through the drill, going by the routine, and they're showing all these four C's, then we have to encourage and recognize them. If they come up with a very good idea that's never been thought before, never been done before, and you guys believe it's going to work, then encourage and recognize it. Okay? These are ideas are the ones that are going to help us pull it off. Alrighty? Next, I know this is already very common, right? That it's a must for every supervisor or manager to be able to provide a direction to their employees. Therefore, they need to have something written down, like a goal and the set of objectives that goes with it. Okay, but I guess let's just call it this way: we need to intensify our management skills. Okay, we need to level things up, right? If we are only doing it like once a week, we need to do it twice a week. If we're only doing it weekly, we need to do it daily. So, well, as much as we can, all right? Let's try to come up with strategies every single day, all right? We have to remain on our toes. Therefore, help them have a direction. So maybe at the start of the week, especially for those who are working from home, right? So all of you must think together and determine what your weekly goal is going to be. All right, so this is going to be our weekly goal. And then it has to be clear and has to be communicated clearly as well. Okay, the how-tos. So because the goal is the answer to the question, what? What are we going to accomplish this week, right? So it has to be supported with the how-tos. How are we going to accomplish the goal? And those are called the objectives. Okay, the more focused we are, the more dedicated we are, the more strategic we are, the better, right? It's not going to make things easier, but at least it's going to make things less complicated, if you get what I mean. Okay? And these are only two words you can see here, guys, but this is very impactful. Empathize mutually. This is not the best time, right, to be not caring for our employees. So especially with those people who are working from home, just like what I mentioned earlier, right? Check on them regularly. And when you're checking on them regularly, you're not just checking the quality of their work, right? The quantity or quality of their work. No, you're also checking on their mental health. You are also checking on their heart, right? How are you feeling? How are you emoting? How are you thinking? We have to empathize mutually, right? Company owners, investors, top executives, supervisors, and managers must know how and when to put themselves in the shoes of their employees, right? Because you might not be removing them, you might not be laying them off, and they might not be resigning, they might not be leaving from work. But if they're already mentally, psychologically, emotionally detached, the effect is just the same. So by empathizing mutually, right, the boss can check on his or her employees, and the employees can check his or her boss. So empathy is a relationship, right? So we feed off each other, we depend on each other, we care for each other, we show concern to each other, we show compassion with one another. So always keep that in mind. It's a very important strategy to ensure that not only the employees, the staff themselves, but also the bosses remain productive and profitable. This pandemic situation, this hashtag new normal. Okay. Oh my, this is my favorite. All right. What we did at the onset of this webinar, guys, that's a very good example of virtual socialization. All right. I didn't prepare for that, but hopefully you enjoyed it. The Zumba that we had, and I made you dance the tune of Savage Love, right? That's an example of virtual socialization. And if you want to contribute to your employees' mental health, stability, and maturity, even though they're working from home, do this, guys. Implement this consistently. They're going to love it. They're going to be much happier, satisfied, and much more contented than ever. Okay? This is just a screenshot of one online event where I spoke as a motivational, inspirational speaker to a direct selling company. So remember what we did in the beginning? I did that too with them, and they really enjoyed it. There you go. So once again, guys, the purpose of a virtual socialization is that it keeps our people sane, right? It contributes to positive mental health, as you guys can see here, and even to physical health, right? The Zumba that we had, it didn't just exercise our mind and spirit; it also exercised our body. It was a good physical exercise. Okay, so there you go. And going back, remember when I told you guys that we have to encourage and recognize and reward those people who are thinking, showing, and implementing rise above ideas and actions. Okay. In order to contribute to those ideas and actions, then we also need to develop a culture in which the creative juices are flowing nonstop. Let those creative juices flowing nonstop. Okay, that's how we stand out from the competition, and that's how we remain productive. That's how we remain profitable. Okay, now this next tip, guys, is very important. It says here, think and operate like a true business owner. Even though you're only an employee, I call this ownership mentality, right? What do we mean by ownership mentality? Ownership mentality is that mindset with which you treat the company you work for, even though you're only an employee, and I apologize for calling it only an employee, you get what I mean? Okay? Even though you're an employee of that company, you consider the company as your own business. It's like the department you belong to is your own little company within the company. You're like a junior CEO in it. All right? Because if you think and operate like a true business owner, it increases foresees your care, concern, compassion, and commitment not only to the company, but also to your peers, to your customer, to your department, to all the stuff around you. Right? It deepens your connection, your relationship with the entire company and the people that stay or work in it. So even if you're at the lowest level, you're a company, either a janitor, if you think and operate like a true business owner, you're going to be much more satisfied at work. Believe me when I tell you that. So going back, you want to pivot, you want to become more productive in this new normal setup, think and operate like a true business owner. In your department, on your little team, even within yourself, it's like you're operating like a company. Therefore, you have all these departments within you, right? You have your operations, you have your marketing, you have your sales, you have your finance, you have your HR. Okay? And now, for our next tip, guys, I need the business owners, top executives, the big wigs in the company to focus on this. If like here in the Philippines, we're under MECQ, so just like what I mentioned, public transportation is suspended, so employees are not able to go to work unless the company provides an employee shuttle service. Okay, if it's making you spend a lot, if you guys are like, if you call it wasting millions of money into employee shuttle service, all right, or you don't have any additional money to spend anymore, then maybe you can leverage alternative work sites or locations. Alternative work sites are work-friendly environments where your employees can be sent to or they can bring themselves to every day, all right, to still do something work-related without having to travel so far from their house to their actual office, okay? So if I may just give an example, right? Like my company, once again, we're MSS Business Solutions. We're in the business of thinking of and implementing solutions for your business. Okay, so this is one of the opportunities that we maximized. One of the opportunities within the miseries that we took advantage of in this pandemic situation. So we have here on my right side, you can't see it now, but on my right side, we have our public seminar room here. We're a training company, so it's not surprising that we organize public seminars, but because mass gatherings are not allowed anymore due to COVID, okay, this other side of the office has been left not being used for a long time. So what we did instead, because we treat each problem as an opportunity, what we did instead is to convert it into a co-working space. We had never offered it as a co-working space before, but now we're offering it as a co-working space. So companies can work with us if there are employees of theirs who live nearby, who live here in Rizal or the nearby municipalities or cities here, instead of traveling to work because there are no public modes of transportation. They can just come over here and work here. All right. So our Wi-Fi here is good enough to be able to finish their deliverables. There are no distractions here. We can keep ourselves quiet. And there's even entertainment here if they're able to work productively in such a manner. So that's what I mean by companies may also leverage alternative work sites or locations. All right, remember I promised earlier that we're going to talk about Myron, Mentor Myron. What are those distractions to avoid when working from home? Okay, there, number one. Don't get me wrong, by the way. Let me get ahead of you there. Cooking your own food is not entirely bad, okay? If you do that during the lunchtime prescribed at work, which is 12 noon to 1 p.m., right? You can even do it in between breaks, right? Like here in the Philippines, apart from the 1 hour unpaid meal break, we're given like 10 to 15 minutes in between. So you guys can go ahead and cook your own food in between those times. But when you are cooking your own food during company time and they're supposed to be office hours, then that's wrong, right? Because you are eating up the company's time for which you have done something work related. Get what I mean? There. So distraction indeed. Number one, once again, teaching your kids at home is not bad. But if you are doing that during company time, then it becomes unfair for your company or your employers, the ones who are paying for your salary. So make sure that you do things at the right time in the right place, right? So do it beyond office hours when your work would have already ended, not in between, okay? Or you can do it if you can squeeze your time in, right? During your lunchtime or at the in-between breaks I was referring to. So distraction indeed. There you go. One of our sources of entertainment during this pandemic is watching Netflix, right? We've been following top 10 series or movies, right? Whatever's out there. And not only Netflix, with the regular TV, the regular cable TV that we've been paying attention to, right? So one of the distractions is there, screen times, right? Unless our employer sets up a webcam or any other forms of camera to monitor us with, right? We're able to do this without our employer or our direct supervisor or manager knowing that we're using company time to watch Netflix instead, which is not work related, right? How can they know? There's no webcam, right? Because all they could do is to give us the benefit of the doubt. But we are abusing that benefit of the doubt being given to us, right? Okay, now there's nothing wrong with taking a break as well. Here in the Philippines, we're given 2 10 to 15-minute breaks, apart from the 1 hour unpaid lunch break. But the thing is, there are some people, especially those working from home who are taking their breaks more than usual. Not only 3 times, but 4 times, 5 times, 6 times, even much more. Who would know, right? There's no webcam set up. Nobody's monitoring them. Nobody's been calling them every now and then to ask them what they're doing at the moment, if they're doing work-related stuff or not, right? So once again, it's about discipline. It's about focus. It's about respect, right? Even though we're working from home, please, let's take our break at the right times, like we're still working at the office, the actual office, okay? So what might all of these lead to? There. So just really quick, the situation we find ourselves in would lead us definitely to anxiety, right? Frustration, and last but not least, low employee morale. Which is why I'm going back again. We need to check on our team regularly. We need to empathize with them mutually, put ourselves in their situation. All right. This work from home status is not like bed of roses all the time. It also has disadvantages. So if we are a caring, concerned, compassionate, and committed supervisor or manager, we need to contribute to boosting their employee morale. Right? We need to wear a motivator or inspirer's hat, so to speak. All right. Now, this is the part that you've been waiting for. So how can we pivot, Myron? How can we remain or become much more productive to contribute to our company's bottom lines better? What tools can be used to influence our productivity? Okay, your wish is my command. Number one, guys, we need to maximize online collaboration tools. And, this is something that's not new anymore, right? Number one would be I'm not here to promote these products, okay? I'm not like an affiliate marketer of these companies. I'm sharing these brands because they've worked with me, for me. Number one would be Microsoft 365. I have a monthly subscription with them. There, I'm able to use not only the usual Microsoft Office products, but of course, this collaboration tool I'm going to show to you later on. There's also Trello, right? If you're into project management, if you're managing a project, Trello is the best website to sign up on. So as it says here, this is the preview on the front page of the website. Trello lets you work more collaboratively and get more done. Trello's boards, lists, and cards enable you to organize and prioritize your projects in a fun, flexible, and rewarding way, which is exactly what's happening to me. Of course, apart from the online collaboration tools available, you can also make use of social networking websites like Facebook. Facebook, though, it's a very informal profession. It's not a professional network. It's more like a social network, right? In every sense of the word. Okay, Facebook also has this its advantages, work related. Okay, especially if you're in the sales, marketing, or distribution business. So Facebook, check it out. Of course, LinkedIn. If there's a social network like Facebook, there's a professional social network like LinkedIn. What's good about LinkedIn is that you're able to build a very good network with people you want to associate with, people you want to sell your products or services or solutions to, people you want to work with or collaborate with, etc. Okay, so this is the place to go if you want to do it professionally. Okay, and of course we have virtual meeting platforms or tools available as well, apps if you call them that way. Okay, so Zoom, what we're using right now. So although we're going live on YouTube, we're using Zoom to live on YouTube through. Okay, so Zoom, it has different plans or packages to choose from, which suits your need. Okay, if you don't like Zoom, there's also Microsoft Teams with one of my clients that I facilitated a webinar for. This is the platform that we used, and it's good. All of these platforms are good. You just have to check which one matches your needs more than the others. And of course, the classic Skype. Okay, let's not forget about Skype. Skype is also competing. Skype is also trying to match itself with the more renowned Zoom and Microsoft Teams. So Skype. And of course, Google Meet. So I recommend that you take advantage of Google Meet, the former Google Hangout, because there are up to 250 participants plan is only free for use up until September this year. So after or by September, we can no longer enjoy the 250 people at the same time. All right. So check this out as well. And of course, e-learning. So remember, if I became problematic and I didn't think of converting my usual learning and development services to online counterparts, right? I would have already closed down my company. We would have already gone bankrupt, right? But because we thought that we can just convert our services to online versions, then see, we're able to do this, right? Providing a free webinar by going live on YouTube through Zoom. Right? We're able to do webinars for other clients, right? It's because of e-learning. So the ones who take advantage of ICT are the ones who will be able to do it better. Of course, go ahead and set up your internal and external learning management systems. It will help you good. Okay, just like this. See, let me just share with you this poster we have. So there, our world-class trainings are now online. Training calendar is available upon request from June to December 2020. So consider this marketing, but let me take advantage of this opportunity. If you guys would like to avail of our world-class training programs, which we are now doing via webinars, just give us a call at 8401-5390 or email us at info@mssbidsolutions.com, which is also our website. So go check us out. Oops, sorry about that. And we already talked about this earlier, but let me piggyback from it. Okay, virtual socialization, like online coffee talks. So those companies who are already doing this, then kudos to you guys, right? Who said that we can only talk while having a good cup of coffee in person, face to face? This is something we can also do online, right? Just sit right in front of your TV or right in front of your desk at home, then drink a cup of coffee, then go online and show it, right? Take pride in it with your colleagues or even your bosses. The same thing with online team building. I'm a team building facilitator. We felt sad temporarily because of this pandemic, because we're not able to organize team building events at pool or beach resorts anymore. But who said that team building can only be done in gyms or at beach or pool resorts, right? Team building can also be facilitated online. And that's why the term Zumba, right, was thought of. It's because of that. Yeah, exactly what I said. Okay, so we're almost done with our free webinar, guys. I would just like to share with you that there are 2 letter A's that we have to keep in mind to remain productive this pandemic situation. Okay, anticipation. I know. This anticipation is something we failed or we weren't able to do when this whole pandemic exploded, right? Unexpectedly. But that's okay. This is not referring to next time anticipating whether there's going to be pandemic or not. No. This anticipation is more on, okay, there's already this pandemic. All that we can do from now is to accept the brutal fact, right? And try to fight our way through it. So what anticipation I'm going to refer to instead would be anticipate how we're going to think, how we're going to act, how we're going to solve our problems, how we're going to answer our questions, how we're going to fix our issues, how we're going to address or overcome our obstacles. So this is the kind of anticipation I'm referring to. Okay? There's no need to whine because our whining is not going to help at all. It's already there. Let's face it. Okay? And then make sure you follow it up with adjustment. Right? In change management, we are taught that change can also be good. Right? It's a matter of perception. It's a matter of conception. Whatever the mind conceives, the body achieves. This COVID-19 virus is really bad. Right? Nobody can question that. This pandemic has, has put us off, right? But if we're gonna be able to adjust, we're gonna be able to, like what I keep on saying, let me reiterate it, find opportunities despite the miseries. Rise above the storm. Because there's gonna be a rainbow afterwards. And at the end of, on the other end of the rainbow, there's gonna be a chest of gold, right? Guarded by this leprechaun. So let me just show this visual to you guys. There. What we're after in this webinar is productivity, right? But it's not just productivity that we need to be after. Be it working from home or quarantine in your company premises, part of operations, there has to be efficiency. And I'm gonna elaborate on each one of these. Okay, and last but not least, it completes it. Okay, would be connectedness. What do I mean by these three? Number one, productivity. In order to be productive, once again, unless your company, your employer sets up a webcam at home so that they can monitor if you are really waking up on time, logging in on time, timing in on time, right? Getting your breaks in between on time, returning for work on time, ending your work on time, or really putting in those OT hours, honestly. Okay. So you can just monitor yourself. They don't need to monitor you. You can monitor yourself. You just have to show discipline, right? All of these other words you can see right here, they will all contribute to your productivity. Because productivity, if we can bisect this word, productivity is actually a combination of there's a product, there's an end result, and of course, if you want to have an end result, there must be an activity or activities that precede it. Okay? Next one, efficiency. Guys, especially for those who are offering products and services, in times like this, attract, don't attack. You cannot attack anymore. You want to present your products and services to their office, you can't do that anymore because of social distancing, because mass gathering is not allowed, right? Because they're paranoid, right? They're afraid to face you, to talk to you, to be near you because they don't want to contract the COVID-19 virus. It's okay, right? You want to demo your product in front of them? That can't work. They won't let it. It's okay. What you can do instead, if you cannot attack, if you cannot aggressively do what you have always been aggressively doing, attract instead. So attacking is pushing yourself to them, right? Attracting, on the other hand, is pulling them towards you. So online, what can you do to pull them towards you? You need to what? Get their attention by posting audio or sound or videos or posts that are engaging and empowering. And by getting their attention, you don't need to aggressively push yourself to them. They're going to pull themselves towards you. You magnetize them. They are the ones who are going to inquire about your products. They are the ones who are going to know more about what you offer. And then once they approach you, that's already your opportunity to tell them more about what value you can add for their company, for their business. You get what I mean? So that's efficiency in times like this. And last but not least, guys, connectedness. Well, of course, living in the Philippines, you know that one of our issues really is internet connection, right? Our connectivity has a lot of areas for improvement, but the government is doing its job, so let them be. So, but of course, that's not the point of this discussion. What I'm trying to say is that whether we have poor internet or not, let's try our best. Let's make a sincere, honest, right, exerting effort to be connected to our employees and to our bosses and vice versa. Okay? So these are the things that we need to be equipped with, to be armed, be able to become productive. Computer, mobile communication, of course, messenger apps like Facebook, Messenger, and other messenger apps that we're using, both on cell phones and on computers. Video calling or conferencing, high-speed internet, of course. All right. And last but not least, file sharing system. Okay, which is encrypted, which is safe, which is protected, because we don't want our precious, sensitive corporate information to be leaked out there and be abused by other people that don't concern them. All right. Okay, guys. So once again, despite the pandemic, despite this virus that's still haunting us, okay, to become productive or more in this hashtag new normal, let me share with you the mindset of a winner, the mindset of a champion. Maybe nothing has changed. Maybe it's just us seeing this transition as an interruption. Maybe it's not an interruption. Maybe it's an introduction, right? We were just forced to transition to something that our circumstances had already been showing to us before, right? like doing things online instead of face to face or in person. Maybe this is how do you call this? This is the moment's way of showing to us that hey, that's something you should have already done before, but you didn't want to do yet because you didn't believe in it yet. So I'm gonna use something like this virus to force you into it. You know what I mean? Maybe this is not a nuisance. This is not a disturbance. Maybe this is not a nuisance. Maybe this is already something new. Not new bad, but new good, if you get what I mean. Okay? And guys, all we need to do, all right, this is already the new normal. The new normal is that we can still continue with our lives normally, as if nothing changed, as if we can do or still do things the way we've always been doing them. It's just that the new trend, maybe you can call it fashion, is that as we do whatever we have to do, as we continue to live, as we continue to work, as we continue to strive and realize our ambitions, achieve our goals, make everything come true, right? We just have to wear masks all the time. Or maybe better yet, apart from wearing a mask, wear a face shield as well. Or maybe because we can get virus by touching surfaces, maybe apart from wearing masks and wearing face shields, we can wear gloves too, right? And of course, disinfect all the time, sanitize all the time by wiping our hands and all other parts of our body with alcohol, with sanitizer, with soap, right? So maybe this is what the circumstances are telling us. Go ahead and do your stuff, but just be protected. And by doing so, right, we can defeat this virus. It's a good thing, guys, that once again, we are MSS Business Solutions. We solve companies' problems, right? We provide business solutions. So apart from the MSS employee shuttle or transport service, okay, we are already offering protective products or solutions. From head to toe, guys, we're complete. We offer face shields, we offer face masks, we offer gloves, we offer the other kinds of PPE like the gown. We have sanitizer, we have alcohol, we have thermal gun scanners, we have testing kits, etc. A lot of all the protective solutions you need. So, once again, I'm not just here to market, okay? I'm just telling you guys that you can live normally, you can work as usually. It's just that you have to protect your employees. And in order to protect your employees and keep them healthy, safe, and sound, you need to be investing in investments like this. Okay? So, we've reached the end of our free webinar. And I just want to leave you with this quotation. All right? And let's read it out all together. Rise above the storm, you will find sunshine. Rise above this pandemic, rise above this COVID-19 virus, and we will find sunshine. Maybe not this year, 2020, maybe next year, maybe not next year, but maybe the year after that. All right, let's not lose hope. Let's remain optimistic. God is with us. All right? Whatever the mind conceives, the body achieves. What we do and the results of our actions and our behaviors are all offshoots or products of our mentality or mindset. So before we before we act, before we behave, before we decide, we must fix our mindset or mentality first. Rise above the storm. You will find sunshine. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for tuning in to our free webinar. And hopefully that our followers on LinkedIn have seen this. Hopefully you've seen the link to this live YouTube stream. Once again, guys, my name is Mentor Myron Sta, the corporate entertainer and the soft skills guru of the Philippines. I'm a professional corporate trainer, public speaker, motivational, inspirational speaker, learning and development consultant, HR consultant, particularly organization and talent development, and team building facilitator. I own MSS Business Solutions. And if you want to know more about MSS Business Solutions, just visit our website at mssbusinesssolutions.com. And if you want to know more about me and my value addition, just visit TheCorporateEnterTrainer.com. And if you want to avail of our business solutions like employee shuttle or transport service, just look up our Facebook page. Just type in MSS Employee transport service. If you want to buy or if you want us to supply protective products to your company, just visit the Facebook page, Protective Solutions Philippines. And if you want to subscribe to our co-working space as your alternative work site or location, just visit our Facebook page at MSS Co-working Space. We also offer virtual office service for you guys. Okay? And if you want to email me directly there, those are my email addresses, msantana@mssbizsolutions.com and or Myron at thecorporateentertrainer.com. If you want to give me a call, okay, I don't mind. I'm not a very private person. In fact, I'm a public person. I have to be. Okay? You can call me up at my globe 0936-988-6199 or my son at 0933-232-6149. Okay? And if you prefer landline instead, you can call us up at 8401-5390. Just ask for me or my team can handle it on my behalf. This other landline number is not working anymore, the 79192734, so just forget about it. If you want to know more about me by visiting my social websites or channels, I can be found. My Facebook page is facebook.com/TheCorporateEnterTrainer. These two were switched. This is my, the one on the left is my Twitter, and the one on the right is my Instagram handle. So my Twitter is The Entertrainer, and then my Instagram is at TheCorporateEntertrainer. And of course, you should already know by now because you came across this webinar. We're on LinkedIn as well. Just look up Myron Santana. Okay, so thank you so much, guys, for paying attention. Hopefully that you learned something from me on how to remain productive and profitable despite the pandemic situation. Hopefully that this webinar has made you realize and appreciate that there can be abundance despite what's going on around us. We just need to improve and enhance our mentality or mindset. Thank you so much. I'm now going to stop sharing this. There you go. Okay. So thank you so much, guys. And I hope you enjoy the remainder of your Thursday. And if you would like to, consult me or get some piece of advice from me through LinkedIn, just message me anytime. But you have to add me. Connect to me on LinkedIn first. Okay. Talk to you guys again in the future. Later. See you around. Bye.